I am the light. I am the light. I call on clarity and the crystal kingdom of citrine. I ask that this sacred space be activated to infinity. And between the worlds, we enter. Open mind, open heart, ready and willing, open and receptive to be a clear and open channel to the highest good of your soul's path, purpose, powers, passion, expression. Your true purpose is to live into the fullest potential that you designed yourself to be, and it isn't who you're being now. That's for all of us, no matter how advanced you think anyone is, because we're all unfolding. We are a fractal. We are a never-ending flower. Welcome. Please allow yourself to center into the sacred space here with me. Namaste, Akasha here, Nanakasha. This is the heart chakra. And the golden healer here, this particular crystal right next to it, they work together. It was putting a big vibration in there for a moment, and I allowed it to balance out because we are experiencing so many intense emotional energies right now. Welcome to the Infinite Show, my loves. And today is the new moon. And yesterday was a 777 Sirius Stargate. Make sure you gift yourself with watching that. I'm still getting comments and feedback from people as they are getting a chance to enjoy it or absorb it. And it is something that those of you joining the Intuition Awakening class, or if you are within yourself, truly, truly committed, having a candle overflow, yay, right here, that you do that class yesterday. I did it myself last night. I got to listen, just receiving, and looking for the culprit. Thank you, my dear, but you're going to have to go back here. You're making too much noise. And that was my obsidian heart. What we're in right now is a portal of a series of stargates that are bringing through certain energies that bring in an opportunity for us to receive bonuses. So if this was your job and somebody was coming to town and they were going to give you free training and free upgrades and free dinners and a free vacation and support and everything you'd ever dreamed of was just going to come in right now at this level and support you through the Lion's Gate, which is August 8th, you would be thrilled. It's just that when it comes to subtle energies, cosmic energies, what's happening as the planets move, as we evolve, because we are co-creating, we are not separate from, we are an individual being, but we are one with everything, and we've chosen to come into a reality that is woven together. So together we're ascending, together that's nothing to do with religion. That means that we're raising our vibration, we're raising our consciousness. We can see it pretty easily when you look around or you watch old movies. So today, we have been doing this last week or so, we've been doing stories of magic and power and videos and pictures that I'm sharing from my recent retreat. And I want to invite you to join me tomorrow. And we are getting ready to send that information out to you now. Tomorrow, we are going to do a video share of some of the clips of the Mayan, Aztec, sacred ceremony in the jungle temple, and there's just a lot of profound energy I want to share with you. So I wasn't able to share with you on Saturday yet what happened on Saturday. Make sure you watch that show, because I said, well, I'll do spiritual guidance, and then the energy started to come and we got an incredible healing. I think there was one at the end, there was messages in the beginning. So there was a lot of spiritual guidance. What I am is a conduit. I have been doing spiritual work. I've been doing multidimensional work in many lifetimes, especially this one. And I've been reconnecting to my lives and my powers from those lives through different teachers through my life, through my cycles of up and down that my soul chose to come and do. So even if it felt like the most horrific thing at the time, it was in service of the greater good of my soul finding its path again. And that doesn't mean that we're wrong and we're off path. It means that you came in with all the data that said, okay, here's where the soul is, and here's what's going to happen at this time. You're the one. You're the right one to come in and to use this energy. We're evolving quickly. We are transitioning. We're transmuting. We're transfiguring. We're shapeshifting. We're metamorphosizing individually and as a culture and as a planet and as a consciousness and a perspective and as what is normal in our abilities and our reality. So allow yourself to not be one of those people trying to hold on to what was, trying to limit yourself by who you are, what you think you could do or can do based on the past. You can't base anything in the future on the past. It has nothing to do with the past other than if you don't end the stuff and turn around and take a next step, you're just going to be beat up energetically and emotionally. Now, we feel like that on our path, and there's plenty of you feeling it right now because today is our new moon. A new moon means we're in pure darkness. Darkness isn't bad, but it is pure yin. It means that you can't see everything unless you have something like jaguar medicine. You call on to those kinds of guides, or if they come into you in a certain way, now you have the power to see in the dark. What does that mean? Well, in your physical reality, you might not be able to go in the jungle and see in the dark. However, with these very limited eyes, however, you have other eyes, and your pineal gland, your pituitary, they work together with all the other glands to create the all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eye connects to the all-seeing eye, the eye of everything, which we are wrapped within right now. When you come to my classes, when you come to my courses, when you come to these calls, you enter into the Infinity Healing Chamber. In my classes, I teach you how to make it, how to create it, how to relate to all the elements within it. Just know that when you're here, there are elementals and rays of color and vibration, and a lot of your particular messengers, guides for the moment can come in. So what we're doing today is the spiritual weather report, and then we're going to do the multidimensional meditation. That's the plan in the 3D. We will see what the spirit guides and the energies of this beautiful new moon have to say. So it's important that we understand the picture, because otherwise it's like you're walking blindfolded through your day. You're ignoring the spiritual weather, the cosmic weather. Well, the spiritual weather is partially one we all share and partially one that's very individual to you. So if you're familiar with astrology, I weave astrology with a lot of other knowledge, wisdom, experience. I'm working with students and clients, so I'm seeing patterns in multiple people. I'm watching talents and intuitive skills awaken in my Intuition Awakening classes. So I hope you'll come, because we create this sacred container. The minute you join a retreat, even if it's in 4 months, the minute that you join a class, even if it's in a few weeks, that is the moment that you cross a threshold. And you have two options. You can continue on that path, even if it's uncertain, even if you're afraid that you're not good enough, or that you can't, or that you won't. And that's part of the energy right now. We are in an energy that is saying, I want something new. I want to be independent. I want to do it myself. I'm ready to start this. Let's go. And then an equal amount of energy saying, well, I don't know. We better worry about what they think. We've been pleasing them for a long time. And if you've been having this, I see this in my clients right now, big time. They're being pulled in both directions, and then they're very aware of their next step that's optimal for them, that then is optimal for everyone else, but you can't can't see it when you have been living your life by everyone else's rules and the identity that you took on to please everyone around you. You have to realize this is not about making anyone else wrong, because right now we are heavy in the power of taking your power back. Woohoo! So I've got a lot of power. I've got a lot of energy. I can work a long time, and on and on and on. And I've spent many, many decades building businesses, making lots of money, closing businesses, going bankrupt, divorce. My daughter died, and I've been up and down the scale in almost every sense of the word. I do love that I get to be alive right now. And I know that I have a very different experience in this moment than most people, than many people. I have been disconnected from the news, from other people's opinions, and even from my family, which was my biggest number one kingpin, was what will my family think, pleasing my parents, wanting their approval, wanting their love, never feeling fulfilled, never feeling seen, never feeling accepted, being told, you're too much, you're too much, you're too much. So I've been through that entire journey. That's a hero's journey. That's an archetypical journey. And I've been through that journey chasing it. And I'm grateful that I was able to complete the journey and come back around on my own new higher terms into that relationship and start an entirely new relationship before we've all moved out of these bodies or evolved them up into different crystalline states and stuff like that. So what does that mean? It means that you are not stuck in your current paradigm in any way unless you agree to it. If you judge yourself and get mad that you've done it, or you've done it a long time, or you can see what you've been doing, or you just did it again today, even though you were aware that you didn't want to do it again, and you were going to speak up and you were going to take time for yourself, and suddenly you go, oh my gosh, I just did it again. It's okay. You do this, you go, oh, wow, look at that. I did it again. Woo. Good. I see you. I see you. I see you. Come on, let's go have a coffee. And you're going to talk to that part of you again. It's no different than being kind and patient with a child learning to ride a bike or something, right? Or somebody who's challenged and they can't help it, right? If they're losing their memory, and you are kind and considerate and helpful to support them, even if you're repeating it for the 2000th time, right? So part of what we're doing is allowing ourselves to free from everyone else's paradigm. And then the more you do that, the more you become able to actually hear and see yourself and see the energies and see that they're not you, but that you're playing in them. And you will unfold and evolve in huge quantum leaps or tiny little steps or repeated frustrations until pa-pam, it's gone. Your transformation is going to be unique to you. When you take a course like Intuition Awakening, you come into a community, you get supported, we give you tools, we see you, I help you to see and understand what you're receiving, and we accelerate, strengthen, we're working on all the layers of you. We don't just go, here, do this one thing, ground yourself with Gaia and ask the earth, and heal the earth, okay? The earth doesn't want you to heal it. The earth wants you to heal yourself. And to understand what that means is that you have to take your power back, which means you have to accept, which means you have to accept who you are, where you are, what you did, what you didn't do. You have to accept the pain that you're feeling and the pain you wish you didn't have. You have to accept the people who were jerks to you and the people who were loving to you and the people you were jerks to, and so on and so forth. Okay? Accept, accept, accept. Accept is not weak. Accept is not condone. Accept is not choose. Accept is not manifest more. We have to flush the low conscious beliefs of the new age that say, don't talk about your fear or your pain, and we have to flush the beliefs of the long-term therapy. I'm all for support, but the support evolves, the support changes, okay? You don't have to dig up your wounds. You don't have to still work on anything. You definitely don't have to work on forgiveness, and today is the day you can take your power back. However, you're in the dark. Wow, interesting. The other thing the new moon energy means, what? Time to plant seeds. It's a rich, fertile womb full of divine, loving, feminine energy, and that's what we received yesterday during the 777 Sirius Stargate. Better check this. Oh, good. I'll turn up that a little bit. And so during the Stargate yesterday, it was a time when different energies were aligning and allowing more energy to come through the planet Sirius, our spiritual sun, often seen or experienced blue, violet, or silver. There's also very, very well-known dolphin species from Sirius that were very, very important in our early evolution here. And they came through, the Syrians came through, the blue light. These are spiritual guides. These are love, okay? They are not here to say, why didn't you do your homework and you didn't meditate enough, and any of the other yabbada-dabbada-doo voices. I don't care if they're your mother's. I don't care if they're yours in 30 lifetimes ago when you were hung by your nails and beaten because you were psychic. I don't know. It's all there. If you want to find more, come to a session with me, because that's what comes up. We say, what's optimal at this time? And they go, okay, let's go to this life and let's connect you, and you can both heal and you can both be free and you can both start to create a new timeline. Do you understand that all the lives in your soul have a point where they have ended? Unless you have a few lives that have figured out how to self-rejuvenate. Now, the future, quote unquote, lives lay in waves of potential before you, essentially depending the closer, like the next step you take in the next 2 minutes or the next step you take in the next day is forming from your radiation, from your emanations. So if you're going to take your power back, what happens? What you emanate, what you radiate, what you manifest, what you attract, what you reflect, what you see, what you're able to say, what you're able to let go of, what you're able to be vulnerable to, what you're able to accept. So you must look at acceptance. You must get the scale in the shop. It's free. Go to the free category. The scale of consciousness shows us that the states of shame and guilt, blame and misery, victimhood, craving, desire, addiction, disappointment, anger, pride, any form of enslavement. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you're not allowed to speak up, there'll be severe consequences. If someone is threatening you. So this was something that used to be done to me, and I don't think that the conscious person understood the the implications of what they were doing, but it was like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this? You should have done this. This is what's right. Now tell me what you learned and what's right and what you're going to do. And I'm not going to tell you what to do. I know you'll do the right thing. Any form of that is severe manipulation. That's basically saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. Repeat to me what I told you should be said. And then if you say it right, we have an agreement, and you are now bound to me in a vow or an agreement. And pretty soon, energetically, karmically, from this life and many other lives, you're tangled up with these negative energies that we're seeing expressed in the world today. There is no economic crash. There is no this or that is going to be the thing that ends anything, but everything is changing. I don't know how it's going to change, but I stay attuned to these energies every day, every step, so that I know, because this is happening outside, that I can use that energy. So how could you use truly deep emotional energy? Well, a lot of us avoid our emotions or don't know what's in the depths of our emotions. And cancer is about home and making it homey, right? And feeling comfy and taking care and family. So there's going to be a lot of emotion around family right now, and how you relate to family, and what is your family, and who is your family, and what does that mean? And how do you relate to your family? And is it appropriate for you? Is it draining you? Is it limiting you? Is it making you sick? Is it lifting you up? Is it making you feel safe and loved and supported and full of possibilities? Is it fun? Is it joyful? What's going on in your relationships and home life? Do you have space to yourself? So the seeds you're going to plant today in the next few days in the new moon, you want to pay attention. Are you doing it through emotional upheaval? If you are, then say, I accept this emotional upheaval. I don't know what to do with it, or I'm not sure how to handle it. And so part of the seeds I would like to plant this new moon can include my permission to my higher self to decide what is optimal for me at this time and my highest good, and release, review, reflect, remove, remember, reacquire, whatever is optimal for me at this time. Emotionally, it's power. Emotions are power. So we want to acknowledge that power, our power. And where is our power? It's at the state of acceptance. So I'm going to, hi Destine, I'm going to, let's see, scale, please, add 2 slides. And I want to show you acceptance because I want you to see it, all right? I want you to see it as, thank you, Donna, as well as understand the states, the qualities. Now, if the new moon in Cancer means that it's time for you to take your power back and reclaim it, or remember it, or drop the facade, or step out of the costume, or choose to end acting in the play where you have to be falsely lacking or never good enough to receive, or whatever it is the story you're playing out. It isn't anything else around you. You perceive that it's because the money in your bank account, or your job, or your spouse, or your home situation, or the 3 properties you own and you need to sell one, or so on and so forth. You don't have anything that actually blocks you, because what you change within here will immediately start to shift. And when you go to acceptance, what happens? You just say, oh my gosh, I'm so upset. I want to cry again. I'm so sick of crying. I can't stand all this emotion that's pouring up and out of me. Or why do I feel pulled in 2 directions? Or I'm noticing how my relationships are so unsupportive. Or I'm noticing how I sabotage myself more and more. And now you're suddenly saying, oh, okay, well, yeah, I see I do that, and I've accept that I've done that, and I accept the parts of me that are the beginning of why I do that created the agreement within me that says that I can't speak up or I can't do my own thing, and why, and whether you know it or not doesn't matter. So an example is someone goes to a life, in this life, they're extremely frustrated because they're awakening spiritually and nobody in their family understands it, believes in it. In fact, the husband even thinks it's bad. So hiding it because you can't stop your awakening, being afraid of it, going through all those different cycles of denial until finding someone like me who says, yay, you, now let's figure out how to walk the path from where you are. Like I was saying earlier, your soul came in with whatever was needed to get you from here to here. And that means all the lives in your soul are ready to complete their vows, their contracts, their pain, their fear, the agreements they made at usually the death or at some point before that. The vows are something like, oh, wow, I got burned at the stake, I got beheaded, I got outcast, I got belittled, I got my reputation ruined, I had big opportunities taken away from me, blah, 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 whatever. All these different eras that this could happen within, which means there's all these different lives that have maybe others issues as well, or energies, but that might be a part of it. This life has a little, this one had a huge amount. And it could be that speaking up or that being seen also related to having money and wealth and being famous or being happy. And then in this life you come in and you want to be a movie star, or you want to sing, or you want to write books, or you want to teach people, or you want to be seen for your inner beauty, whatever it is, and you're afraid of being seen. That vow is living within you. You brought it with you from a soul level. If it's come up in this life so far, it's done. Period. I don't even need to check on you personally. I can tell you that right now. Right now. 100%. If it's coming up in your life right now, it means that yes, indeed, you need this to come up for you because you're done. Okay? You're done, you're done, you're done. So whatever relationships are frustrating, restrictive, they need to be restructured, they need to be rethought, they need to have some distance or some love or whatever done to it. Don't blame anyone else. Don't attack anyone else. Don't dump your emotions on anyone else except for me or the class that you join with me, because that's why we're here. The people in your life are used to you being the way you were. They're not going to understand your awakening, and don't try to explain it to them. Simply realize that you're going to have to choose for yourself in the most loving way possible, and you will need to learn how to say it. You will need to learn how to express it, because taking your power back is not easy. Took me lots of years, because I had the belief that I had to please everyone to be safe, to be loved, to have enough. I had to be the best. I had to keep working. Even if I was the best, I had to keep going until I was even better. And then I realized underneath that was a belief, but a vow that came from a bunch of other lives and this life and whatever. Really, most of them don't come from this life. I'm not sure if I believe anything started in this life at all anymore, now that we know the evolutionary moment that we're in right now. So here's the school. Please join me. Yesterday is going to be included as a bonus class, but it is free for all of you. And we didn't do like a real full class with all the different parts. However, it is about a pure 90-minute activation. And it is so empowering that if you don't do it, you're choosing, and you've heard me say this, you're choosing to bypass a doorway that your spirit, that your soul, that your highest guides, your most loving angels are opening for you right now. And I want you to stop. That's yesterday's. It's free. It's all yours, okay? Thursday, we're going to do the Meet Your Spirit Guide Council. You can join that. It's on sale for $29 right now. And then if you decide you want to join the course, we'll refund you that. So you get it for free if you join the Intuition Awakening. Now, the biggest thing that has been coming to me recently, as we've been talking about this new theme and this new format and these shorter classes that'll be 90 minutes with 30 minutes of sharing, and these bonus classes to access the cosmic energies that we're in right now, including the Lion's Gate, is because this is part of using your intuition in a day-to-day way. I want you to use it in a practical way. I want you to apply it to everything you're doing, whether it's how you communicate with your kids, when you make time for yourself. Do you commit to it? Oh my God, I am absolutely, to myself, famous for putting all kinds of things on my calendar for me. And then the minute something comes up, I'll do that instead. I'll do that instead. And of course, there's certain things that are way better. And of course, it depends on what I was doing in that moment. However, when you are used to doing everything for everyone else, like I was, massive people pleaser, okay? And I say this now with all this awareness. It doesn't mean I had that awareness as I was going through my life. It was slow as my life fell apart, and then I had to go seek ways to understand it and to find medicine and understanding at a different level, because I'm not going to be satisfied just sitting around feeling sorry for myself. That's not going to work for me. I have too much to do in this life, and even in the pain of loss of money or my daughter or any of these things that have happened, and that I know you've had horrible, painful, really difficult things happen to you too, maybe right now. And yet you're on a path of your soul. You're held in love from the highest possible realms. There's nothing that is being held from you. So your soul's evolution is unique and needs to be expressed. Your purpose needs to come to the surface, and we are going to do amazing things in this class. They showed us yesterday some of the things that they're going to do. I had these amazing spirits guides that came yesterday for the 777 Stargate, of which we will have another one on our first class on the 25th. They said they want to co-teach the class with me. I'll be honest with you, I channel whatever energies come in. I have a light body council and other councils and other guides I work with every day, or for certain things. I talk to everything from the plants to the computer table, to statues, to the sky, to the sun. I do energy work and light work and weaving with all of it every day, all the time. That's my life. I am nonstop spiritual guidance. That is literally what I'm doing. And it doesn't mean that I skip around just happy every second of the day. I'm going through these energies too, because we're all going through this. So there's a lot of emotion stirred up right now. And when you learn to communicate and you realize spiritual medicine is there, like if Ganesha showed up and just stood behind you, and he's the remover of obstacles, would you feel better? Or if you saw a little mouse, would you scream and eek and act ridiculous? Or would you say, oh, wow, thank you, and go look up what that spirit guide means or what it means to you in the moment? Or remember that Ganesha, the incredible remover of obstacles, that's the energy and abundance and a lot of other really loving things. But generally, that's the primary energy that this particular God, so to speak, holds when you work with this messenger, when you have, a connection to it, when you place trust in it, when you say, I'm ready to speak to you, when you say, I'm ready to open myself to you and to work with you. There's a lot of ways that Ganesha works. And one way is you always see a little mouse near him, and he works through the mouse. Why? Because the mouse is tiny and not seen as strong and can go underneath and up and behind things and can go do his work to remove the obstacles. It doesn't always take an elephant, okay? The tiniest things can change. So I want you to see the signs and synchronicities. I want you to feel the support that's all around you. I don't want you to suffer one more day by yourself, okay? Now, I know my students feel very loved when they're in a class and we have a group and we can communicate. And when they're not in a particular class, or they have a busy life, or they're traveling for a while, they get to feel a little bit disconnected. It just is showing you how important it is for all of us. And right now, let's take a look at the deeper energies. So you just go to the shop, you'll see it right there. We've got all the classes here. We've got a little bit of information about the first class, the other topics I'm going to share soon. And let's dive into today and see what we got. Okay, so I called this the Spiritual Weather Report, and in a minute we're going to do the meditation, and I called it Emotions and Love because of the energies we're going through. So I want to see, I have too many things that are making noise on my table. Thank you. Thank you. We'll put you right here. All right, good. So, new moon. You're in the dark, you're planting seeds. It's the usual new moon energy. You also have to remember the moon represents your emotions. It is heavy about reflective light. It is only possible for you to be this divine feminine presence when you receive fully the light of the sun, the light of yourself, the light of the gold ray, the divine light from source. And the emotions of the new the Cancer, along with Venus going retrograde. Okay, so Cancer's a water sign. We've talked about a lot of this. Deep emotion, overwhelming emotion. The sun's in opposition to Pluto. Let's talk a little bit about that. Opposition means you're directly across from somebody, Okay, so imagine you're standing around an enormous circular pool, and someone is standing directly opposite you, and you're staring at each other across the pool. This is what an opposition is. Is it bad? Well, it's not bad. The medicine, the energy of it, you have to realize, is that the moon, oh no, the sun and the moon, because the sun and the moon are together. They're exactly conjunct when the moon is, dark. So Pluto is the planet of big transitions. Okay, death, rebirth, shadow work, going to the underworld, Shibalba. And this means they're exactly opposite of each other. So the sun has a completely different perspective. They don't see eye to eye. They're looking at each other across. Have you ever had a different opinion with somebody and realized that you were looking at it from a completely different perspective? I learned radionics, which is frequency medicine, a very long time ago from a master. And it's numbers. It's dialing in codes and numbers, and the numbers, the frequency of something. So let's take an example of a, oh my goodness, magnesium. Let's take magnesium. So magnesium is good for your body, and you could take it in a pill or whatever, and you take it appropriately so you absorb it. It has benefits to you. That means it has a medicine that is good for you in a certain way. Well, magnesium also is a living being. It is energy. It's vibrating. And if you could measure its vibration and put it into a series of numbers, this is what they've done. And I have books and books of these frequencies. I have medicines like penicillin. I have homeopathics. I have flower essences, all expressed as numerically. I have colors, rays, subtle bodies, physical bodies. I have the liver. I have everything, trees and water and so on and so forth. So these frequencies can then be sent to you at a certain potency in a certain way for a certain amount of time to help remind you to vibrate in a certain way. So what happens is when you express that number, that vibration, there were different what they called bases. So if you're scientific at all, you might understand that. There was a base 10, there was a base 44, and there were some other ones. So I ended up using base 44 or base 10. And one of the questions I had to ask the subject, the person, the dog, whoever I was working with, I asked their witness, usually it was hair for us, what was optimal for them at this time. And that included is the remedy, the medicine, the frequency through which I send this to you more optimal for you at base 44 or base 10. It's a little bit like saying, what's the difference of FM and AM? Okay, do you listen to FM or AM? I mean, I don't know who listens to radio at all, but that's the kind of thing. It's a different way of carrying the same information. So what happens when you're facing somebody? You don't see eye to eye. You don't agree because you're saying, no, I see mountains, and you're saying, no, I see, dark, and I see light, and you're seeing the two sides of it. And Pluto is saying, change, transition. I see that it's time to end this shadow work. And the sun and the moon are saying, no, it's time to rest. It's the new moon. It's time to go in. So you're going to have both of these energies going on, and they're going to be pulling on each other, which can be exceptionally good for growth and not really good for finding certainty and peace of mind. So you need to be comfortable going through these cycles. That's why you need to develop your intuition so your guides can tell you and walk with you. You can feel them walking with you. Remember, all medicine and all energies can harm or heal. They can expand something or they can shrink something. They can create abundance or lack of it. So this energy right now is like a trapeze. What do you know about a trapeze? You have to let go and fly through the air, perceiving that you're unsupported, that you're disconnected, that you don't know where you're going, that you're not grounded. No, you're not. However, you know how to do this. It's in your soul. And you can't receive something new if you're holding on to the trapeze, the old one. So take a close look at what you're holding on to right now. Are you holding on to your perspective? Are you holding on to wanting people to like you or to not be upset with you, or holding on to wanting something to unfold in a certain way, or thinking that this has to happen now when better opportunities are behind you, a different path? Are you standing in opposition to yourself and blocking yourself from knowing or receiving? So where do you have an emotional wall that's not allowing you to receive new power, clarity, and direction? And take a look at the energies with the sun being self and life force opposing Pluto that intensifies everything. So that means that Pluto is going to intensify both your rebirth desire and your feeling that you're stuck, dying, or at the end of a cycle. And these are, again, life force moments. These are strengthening moments. What do you do if you're learning a martial art? You don't sit and meditate by yourself. You move until you have the muscle memory, and then you move and you practice with another person or with another, tool. So you have to have the masculine and feminine have to push against each other for us to have form. Okay? So remember, on the scale, you take your power back at the level of acceptance. So where can you let something go? Where can you accept it as it is and not need to tell people off, have people understand your opinion, get an apology, get your money back? Could you let it all go? Because right now there's something way better for you to hang on to. Let go of the trapeze. So I told you a little bit about my relationship with the word two. You're too trusting, you're too this, you're too. And I did have an experience, a very spiritually awakening experience, where I just started yelling, yes, I'm two. And that's what I'm designed for. So when you accept it, you don't have to have it build up and have to express it, because I was also on that wheel of trying to constantly prove myself, constantly receive, get what I needed from outside of me. You don't need anything from outside of you. So part of this new moon is allowing yourself to feel where it's too much. Maybe it's too much emotions, or too much of other people, or maybe it's too quiet. Maybe it's too much alone time. You need to get out there. Maybe it's too much indoor time and you need outdoor time. Maybe it's time that you notice what's triggering you. Remember, emotions magnify everything. The next thing that's happening, this is going to last for 18 months, so pay attention to this. Lunar nodes are not astrological, they're not bodies, okay? They're a mathematical point on the chart of how astrology looks at the planets, okay? So, but the cool thing is they represent your life path, your destiny, your soul purpose. So right now we are changing signs every 18 months. So you have a year and a half and you're completing the last year and a half. So you want to think about the life path you've been on is ending the energy, the type of path it was on. So if you feel a major change coming, like a change in your relationship, your home, your job, where you live, how you see yourself, I don't know what, okay? Any of that, yes, yes, yes. Things are ending. In the last 18 months, you've made a really profound change in the direction that your life is going. You've said yes to some opportunities for your soul growth. You've missed some. You've said no to some that you know. You're hanging on to regret for some. You need to unhook from all of that so you can go forward fully present in your beautiful heart. Do the meditation, do the activation, do the class from yesterday, and you will know. Now, if you don't want to take the intuition class right now, the summer camp is once a year. And after it, there will be other classes that I'm offering. There have specialty classes, money, intuition, and certifications. And they all want you or require you, most of them require you to have taken this class. If it appeals to you now, whatever resistance you feel is part of the energy, and you want to sit with it, accept it. Okay, is this the next step on your soul's path? Is your destiny and direction moving? It's going from Taurus. Taurus likes to be comfortable, is also kind of a homey sign like Cancer, but much more into luxury, much more, not opulence, not excess, just comfort, the best. I want one bag. It has to have all the perfect compartments. It has to be perfect quality, a beautiful texture, made very well, appeal to me, and then that's all I need. That's the Taurus energy. Now your purpose is crossing into Aries. Aries is a very profound sign. The North Node shows you your life direction, and you're moving into the first sign. That shows you a sign of rebirth. So Pluto is part of the rebirth. The direction forward, as you move into this first sign, it's a fire sign. The fire sign is very different than Leo, which is a huge bonfire that's just like, yes, I am here. And there isn't even an ego over other people typically. It's just, wow, look at what I got. And Sagittarius, which is like flaring up and going down and playing and running around and in and out. This is a fixed fire sign. It is an earthy fire sign, and it's a sign that is concerned with physical survival. Taurus is concerned with physical comfort. It's been saying, how can we be more comfortable? How can we make it more beautiful? How can we make it more meaningful? How can we have more juicy, loving relationships? And now that path is ending. Not that you can't have those things, but that's the energy you were walking in. The next lesson, the next vision quest, the next opportunity on your soul's path is walking in Aries. Read up on Aries because you got 18 months for your life path to be walking in this sign now. Now, the part of it that I always liked about Aries is the part that says, I'm first. And this doesn't feel doubt about saying, no, I'm first, I'm first, I'm first, and I'm first, and I'm great, and I'm first. But it's also really concerned about survival at a physical level, and that could bring up issues of lack or fear of loss. So these are things that have the potential to get cleared out, and your life path is going to move through those. Your destiny direction will be with this. Wanting to do it your way, wanting the independence, the freedom from the restrictions, the freedom from the rules, the opinions of everyone else, the past, present, and the future. That's excellent. And it also, remember, we've got both energies going on. This is an empowering year of allowing you to take your power back, give yourself time to give yourself permission, because if you're dragging all of your fears and your beliefs with you and just saying, oh, good, it's an empowering year, it's just going to happen to me, it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, because I wouldn't have liked to hear this when I was 20, 30 years ago. However, you have doorways opening. You have messengers here. You have messages that are trying to get through to you. You have medicine, energy, love, whatever form that medicine needs to take that you require, and it's here right now. That's the way it is. That's the truth, period, end of story. I used to want to be loved and, oh, it's okay that you're not figuring it out, or that you haven't done it completely and you're doing such a good job and I love you where you are. That's true, but I want you to stand up. I want you to say, okay, I am ready to be empowered, and I'm fully accepting that I keep going back and forth across the line, or keep packing the bags of my emotional shit and then I keep picking them back up again, or I keep going a day or two without being triggered and then I get triggered again. Okay, great. Welcome to reality. We're all doing that. You've got to take time every day to give yourself permission. If you don't accept what's happening and where you are, then you wallow in it longer, you cause more damage to your life, you miss more doorways. Those doorways are only there for you. They don't open until your key codes show up. I've tried to give you some examples of that in the retreat stories, where when certain people come, we all have some past life memory, or somebody sees something and then the other person remembers it, and the baby in their womb, and it's all connected. I can't even tell you, just walking down the street or going to the store today or walking across your yard, what might happen if you were present, if you were listening, if you weren't attached to all the things, if you weren't carrying in your mind frustration, if you weren't afraid to speak up. So if you don't give yourself permission to break free of the paradigms in the way that is most optimal for your highest good, it is never to blame others. It's never in conflict. You let go of that too. Oh, I accept that I believe this has to be a conflict. You know what? I accept that there's another way to do it that's not a conflict. I accept that the people around me probably won't understand as I change. I accept that I want to love them, but it's not a reason to compromise my change. I accept that there's going to be a transition period as I shift and change and reclaim my power. And I am giving myself permission that as I break free, I love myself, I love all those in my life, and I allow myself to choose appropriately for me to step into the mind, the mental body, the beliefs, and the lifestyle that are optimal for me. So some of the things to remember is who decided what you believe, and do they really serve you? Be aware this is an opportunity to find that the comfort your soul seeks is within you. It's not in the what you thought was comfort. Everybody agreeing with you is not comfort and security and safety, and I thought it was. I spent much of my life, it's okay, my life wasn't wasted. I was doing epic and great things. However, I was also going through my path of emotional cleansing and weaving and reawakening and all of that crap. And it comes up and you just do it. You go through the flow. But I don't want you to be in survival anymore. I don't want you to be giving away your power anymore. And it isn't power like, oh, I'm taking my power back and telling everybody off and telling everybody what I think and feel. That's not power. That's lack of emotional mastery, and puking your opinions and your stuff all over other people or making them wrong in any context is not the way to do it. If they are being manipulative, if they are being mean, if they're being critical, if they're being rude, you walk away. Even if it's your mother or your sister or your brother or your son, I don't care. You step back, you pull your energy out, you stop trying to lean in, you stop trying to fix it, stop trying to validate yourself, you stop trying to prove yourself, because that's not reclaiming your power. That's giving it away. It's not an easy path, believe me. I was so people-pleasing. I couldn't imagine disconnecting from trying to make everybody feel better, trying to fix everybody's problems, trying to be there for everybody, trying to make sure everybody thought good of me. So ask yourself this and really realize you're walking through an opportunity. Now, the reason, one of the many reasons I love the intuition classes is we get to become the channel for open flow in this moment. You get to choose whatever experiences empower you and the rest to wash away. Now, the South Node, they always are opposite each other. They move together. They move backwards, by the way, because they're a mathematical point. Don't listen to any of that if it's confusing. And they are representing where you've been, right? So the North Node is where you're going, the North Star, you're headed that way. The South Node is where you've been. It's your wisdom, it's your soul's spirit, experience, and path. And where you've been on it is going into Libra. Now, Libra loves to please people. I have part of my signs are Libra, although not this year. I'm double Leo Sag. And it's a very loving sign. People love Libras typically because they're so accommodating, they're so kind, they're so sweet, they're thoughtful, and they make everyone happy. So the South Node is going to be doing the same thing we just discussed a minute ago. It's going to be saying, but we should worry about these people thing. But but we've always pleased these people. And I don't know. So you've got 18 months to be pulled between these two energies, and it's going to make you very strong, and it's going to give you an opportunity as quick as you want to decide not to get pulled in one direction and move forward on your path. Getting a sip of water here. And this, we discussed how you're going back and forth, and everything on your life path is full of information, which is why the messengers and the messages and the energy that you need, the answers, the solution, I call all of that the medicine that you're going to be connecting with in the Intuition Summer Camp is exactly what you need. And one of the most powerful classes is going to be connecting to your other lives in your soul, or your past lives, however you want to put it. They're perceived in a historical line past. Everything exists right now. Now, the future you exists in potential waves up, and you could move down. Well, what if I made this choice, and I felt that, and then I felt that, and then I chose that, and then I chose that? Oh, okay, that's how that might feel. And you can actually move forward in time. You can freeze time and look which is the best way to fall I won't hurt myself the most. I have clients who've done that. You can look at your life the same way. So heal, release, and accept the past. Realize you sabotage yourself when you put others ahead of you, and yet when you reclaim your inner voice, your inner powers, and your ability to hear guidance and to hear the messengers that could be you, okay? Could be your ancestors, could be your parents, could be people that you hate and thought were mean to you. But it doesn't matter, because when you can hear, then you can serve and help others more. At first, it feels like you're pulling yourself away from people and you're not serving them in the way that you were used to. Those are old paradigms. Take your power back. Everyone else is feeling this energy too. Please be compassionate. Everyone is feeling this intensity. Everybody's feeling pulled in both directions. Everybody wants their independence and wants their way, and everybody wants to be supported. And they're going to be asking that of you too. I'm not telling you to just say F everybody and walk along unless that is exactly appropriate for you. However, if you've been overgiving and to others and undergiving to yourself, if you've been not realizing where your power is leaking or not anywhere near you, then this is an excellent opportunity to understand that if others ask for your support, don't get exasperated. I'm so busy with myself. I've got too much to do for me. And don't say, okay, I won't do my own thing. I'll sacrifice for you. I can tell you right now that you think you're being nice, but you're not, because you are damaging your light body. You are not taking the codes in when you could, because you carry this sludge within you. The sooner, without pressure, that you simply walk your path going, I'm sorry, I can't go today. I know I said I was going to go today. I know I was going to come to class today. Or I know you're supposed to be here in 10 minutes, but this is not a good day right now. Things don't feel right. And I appreciate it. Let's reschedule. Thank you so much for your understanding. Again, you're not blaming anyone. You're expressing yourself fully, and you want to be independent. They want to be independent. So allow them. Say, I'm going to have to leave that up to you because right now I have other things on my plate. I love you very much, or whatever would be appropriate to say. So how can you be the conscious and energy being in any situation? Well, come to my classes. Do something, do the thing yesterday, do whatever you can to keep flushing out that old stuff. If you've been going around and around with the same pattern, and I'm not trying to be mean because believe me, I did it for decades. However, you have to realize right now we're moving very, very fast. So the longer that you're like, oh, I can't get free of this. Oh, this is bothering me again. Oh, this is triggering me again. Don't deny it. Don't go down into guilt and feel stupid and bad about it, because then you're down the scale. Accept, accept, accept. Let your mind come into harmony with new solutions, new ways of seeing things, and let your entire being transcend that reality. I do not live in the fear of all. I don't even know what all people are thinking about. I know they're talking bad about where, other people, and they're blaming things, and people are getting caught up, and people are using spiritual language to sell greedy stuff, and people are giving pressure and heightening scams and heightening, and that's desperation, that's craving. And that's at the level of addiction or desire, where you end up disappointed, you feel enslaved and stuck, and there's nothing positive in this stage other than moving through it. So don't join the parade just because everybody else does it. All right? Manage your own information. Really pay attention to what you're digesting, please. Discover the best ways to lovingly support yourself. I felt guilty in every sense of the word for years and years and years, even after I started doing things for myself. And then I didn't really get to enjoy it or be fully present or enjoy it to the max or to really have the pleasure from it, because I was carrying the guilt with me. You can do that. And it could be where you are on your path. Still do it, even if you're carrying the guilt with you. It's better than not doing it, all right? But now is the time to stop giving away all of your value, giving away your life, spending your life force, wasting the potential that you have, the uniqueness that you have to express that nobody else could be on this planet. You're keeping the medicine, you're keeping the cure for something by not being you. Cultivate a support system with people who understand your spiritual growth and unconditionally accept you in whatever state you're processing. We're on the right path in the right moment, and it doesn't mean that we know we have to find the path. Now, all of these things are leading you somewhere. What's talking to you? What's on your plate right now? Talk to me about it. Ask me about it. If you wonder if the school will help you, I can tell you that you're going to enter, similar to the retreat, you're going to enter a sacred space, and every single step you take for the next month and a half or whatever it is we're going to be together, 5 or 6 weeks, is designed again to awaken you, to take you step by step. But if you listen to the call yesterday, you are going to feel the love from Venus, the love from Isis, the Egyptian goddess who holds divine mother love, resurrection, which means soul retrieval, finding all the pieces of your soul from whatever life or other fear and letting them come back together again. That's her specialty. She did that for her husband, Osiris. He was cut into a million pieces. That's the message to you. The story is telling you that it doesn't matter. He was cut into a million pieces by his brother, okay? And so that's a sign, all right? The people closest to you, your blood, might chop you into a million pieces, might not recognize you, might not want you to have your power. Guess what? That's the era we're coming out of. It isn't anyone else's fault. It's what we're all doing. Everyone is experiencing this. Also, somebody else's past or pain, someone else's hangups or abuse is not any more important than yours. You all deserve compassion, every one of us, including you. Now, Venus is a beautiful goddess, a goddess of beauty, a goddess of love, and all of those things, and the planet represents that as well. However, retrograde means what? It means pausing, going within, reviewing, reassessing. Well, that to me is pretty delicious when it comes to love. That's why this is the new moon of emotions with the Cancer and the new direction of your life path, being pulled in two directions. However, Venus, the goddess energy, and all of the energies and archetypes that she holds, all the medicine she holds, if you've ever received a message from her or enjoyed the statue of her in the Louvre, or if you just feel a resonance with divine sacred feminine energy, yesterday's was the first requirement after, or yeah, you can do it before the 360 senses for the intuition class. What happened? We were guided to create a sacred center in our sacral center. It's profound. The entrance is now guarded by Venus and Isis. They are bringing their energies of divine love, third eye awakening, soul retrieval retrograde, opening the wings, pure love, reclaiming your self-love and your beauty, and this is the perfect moment for it. So all of these things are happening starting this week until September. So your desires, your wishes, your ability to receive love completely, graciously, in whatever way, and give love. Review, reflect, reassess love. Do you receive it? Where do you block it? Where do you feel you don't have enough? Where are you craving it? Where you know you're not allowing yourself to have it? Where have you felt that it's not safe to give or receive love? Remember, release, do this class, do the other things I have, do your energy cleanses. Anything you have from me will help you really well. Then you go in and you find yourself and you love yourself. And this is what these beautiful energies are doing. We're also surrounded, our sacral, with the Syrian spiritual sun. That is our spiritual self, and the Syrian dolphin energies. So whether that makes sense to you or not, I have people come to my classes and say, I don't really understand what you're talking about, but I feel great and it's the best I've ever felt. Or I just got a beautiful message from someone who came to 5 of my retreats, and he said at the time, I just have to keep coming back every time I take such a huge quantum leap. This is your opportunity to do that online. Okay. We've talked about how if it's someone else's dream, make sure that your love is really in it. Is it really, really what you want? And what do you think? And will it fulfill you? And will it fulfill the future you? Or is it going to run out? Or is it just not feel affinity for it? You don't have to be ashamed. If somebody in your life is telling you, but you said that's what you want, you can say, okay, and I evolved. The truth is that the next truth will never show itself to you until you unfold the current one. So you have to work with what's in your system right now and let this love in. Self-love, every aspect of love, the cosmic energies are here. You are in love, and you are love. And if you're not being loved by yourself, You cannot receive love fully from others, and that includes your subtle guides, your angels, loving goddesses, beautiful flower essences, Gaia, nature spirits of all kinds, fairies. There's so much love here for you. If you've lived in lack and therefore prevented yourself from seeing, receiving, and accepting love, it's not the problem. That's outside of you, okay? Now, the planet rules over both Libra and Taurus, and that's relevant in that those two energies are very, very strong. And we are having some Taurus energies right now, which is wonderful, but it means that this planet, this goddess rules over love and money. It's a prosperity thing. So she told me last night to ask you, where is your next prosperity move? And I was resistant to that idea because I don't like anything that sounds like those go get rich quick things and pushing you to do things you can't. And yet, is this a prosperity move? Doing self-love? Is it a prosperity move? Ending a job that saps your strength or your life or your time? Is it a prosperity move to say yes to something that opens your heart and makes you feel worthy, wonderful? Self-acceptance, self-love, self-expression, creativity, beauty, art, sentiments in this sign will be intensified by the emotion of Cancer for the next few days. But remember, the Venus energy is going to go all the way till September 3rd. The goddess Venus is the symbol of unattainable love in many aspects, and that is not what she represents, and she wants you to know that. She says that the reason she's perceived as beautiful is because she loves herself. And when she loves and accepts herself, she radiates love, beauty, and acceptance. Therefore, that's only people who love and see her beauty, accept it, then resonate with it. And you can do the same thing. You have a beauty and you're deeply loved. So that messenger, all these loving, divine, sacred, feminine energies yesterday are so intensely beautiful. We received heart openings, connection to our soul's heart. We are going to begin our divine alchemy. This Thursday, we're going to meet our spirit guides. You don't have to come live for that one either. It's going to get us started on building your current spirit guide council. And then as you go through the intuition awakening, you're going to meet more messengers, more representatives, and imagine that these divine energies have, oh, there we go. That's tomorrow. These divine energies have a opportunity to move within you in a more intimate way. You're going to leave this course deeply connected to Isis and all she represents. She is the one aspect of the all-seeing eye. That means your awakening, your ability to see, your senses, your intuition are going to be enhanced by her. She helps you open your wings, which she told us yesterday are on your head and your crown, not on your back. She was almost like, you're not an angel, they're on your head. You know, here's the scale. When you go get it, you can download it and look at acceptance. So from shame to pride, that's all these things in the emotional field: despair, blame, judgment, regret, anxiety, craving. I have to have it. I need it more. All of these things here. And in the mind, you see they change at courage. This is the first power state. This is when energy comes to you. It's why it's empowerment. Permission happens in your perspective. You believe it's possible in your mind. You feel affirmative. Yes, this can happen. Then when you pop up to neutrality, you can trust. Your emotional body feels trust. That's a very grounded state. Your mind feels satisfied. Now you start letting go. You feel more enabled. You pop up to willingness. In willingness, you're just willing. You don't know how. Your emotional body is feeling incredibly optimistic, so happy. And the hope is opening new rays. More of the energy is coming to you. You can set intentions, you can get inspiration, and you pop into acceptance. When you pop into acceptance, your emotional body forgives, you're lighter, your mind becomes harmonious and aligns with more solutions You transcend all of those energies underneath. You're no longer a slave. You are no longer stuck. You're surrounded and you see through compassion for yourself and for others. All right, so let's go do our meditation. And thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you in a moment. A lot of really powerful energies. Many of these are going to go forward for a while. So come back, take your notes, or look for the transcription here, and allow yourself to understand that your personal story and path that you're on is also that you're walking through these energies together. Everyone else is. Everybody's reacting to them. So the more that you have your guides around you who are outside of time and space and are not affected by the emotional triggers and energies that you have, the more clarity you will have. Ganesha says, thank you, thank you, thank you. And he is here to help guide your path. This is Isis here. Ooh, you see the beautiful, all-seeing eye. Perfectly balanced. Not the left, not the right. Namaste.